Good afternoon to you. We normally do these live streams in the morning, but this morning was unusual. I want to do a quick review of a great book called The Responsive Chord. Now, I have the book here, but the current version looks different than this. This is the an old version I bought at a used bookstore. This is let me put it this way, timeless book. It was written in 1972. This guy, Tony Schwartz, was amazing because he would find what he called the responsive chord. And what he would do is he was very influential politically because he would run ads that were highly emotional, but he wouldn't spend much money on them. And that's what was so amazing about it. I'm trying to see here. I'll tell you his commercial that was inexpensive commercial that probably changed the course of a war. This was back during I think it was the Vietnam War. And they made a commercial and it showed on TV, but I don't think it was on a lot of spots. Everything he did was like under budget, right? But it showed this nuclear bomb going off. And there was just this voice of an announcer. And I don't even remember the exact thing. You can look it up on YouTube. Tony Schwartz, SCHWARTZ, and type in like atom bomb commercial or something like that, nuclear bomb commercial. But the gist of it was, do you care about your kids or that kind of a thing? It was really tugging on the emotional heartstrings concerning the war, and it changed things that were going on at the time. He could at will pretty much keep someone from being elected to office. And he did this, like, I forget, in New York. Again, it's been a long time. I don't remember the name, but what he did was he found the path that this person, the current mayor, I believe, mayor or want to be mayor, would drive to the office. And he pinpointed the radio station that could target just that area of where he would drive. And he knew what radio station the guy listened to. And so what I'm trying to say is he ran the ad on the station the guy listened to only during the time slot when he knew he would be driving to work. So the budget was minuscule, but he would pay for a premium voice talent, like the very best voice talents. And yet the commercials sometimes would only run like a very minimum amount of times and very small expenditures, like for $2,000 or $3,000, he could influence the course of social issues, campaigns, and such. And one of the reasons was because he knew the person would hear the commercial and he knew they wouldn't, and the way he did it, it would be embarrassing. And he knew they wouldn't want to be embarrassed in front of their family. And I mean, the guy was, so you say, well, Marlon, what the heck are you talking about this in the context of marketing, right? Well, if this guy can change the course of wars, which he did, who's elected, of what policies are decided, even in the biggest cities like New York City, then he can help and influence your marketing by striking what he calls the responsive chord, which is the emotional chord in your potential buyers or your buyers. So the thing he was all about was, how do I strike the emotional chord in 1 minute or less? He would write up the commercial. He would have a really great, awesome pro voice talent record it. Boom. That would be it. You could still do the same thing today on your website and so forth. And no one does it. No one strikes at the emotional chord with a professionally written 1 minute audio thing. And that's recorded by someone with like the voice of God. He would get the very, 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 very best voice talents, which you have to pay like $2,000 or $3,000 for, probably maybe even more by today's standards, uh, to have it recorded. But it's worth it for that 1 minute that carries this huge impact, right? Well, anyway, it's a delightful read because I only gave like the tip of the iceberg and I probably butchered it to death. But you'll never forget this book if you read it. You'll never forget the book, and it'll influence your advertising. It'll influence your marketing. It'll influence the things that you do. And gosh, it's an old book. You can see it's got tape reels and stuff. The photos in it are black and white. But what a fascinating, amazing, interesting book about influencing people through the power of emotion, through tapping into emotion. And you wouldn't guess that the course of wars, of political elections, of how a mayor decides on a political issue could be decided with 1 minute's worth of words. And yet that's what he did during his career, time and time and time and time and time again. He's very, very, very famous for it. Very famous person in the history of advertising. Anyway, I know it's not my usual direct response advertising. I know it's out of the box, but it's a book I'm very fond of and I think is so fascinating and is just not applied at all in marketing today. And I think if you read it, you'll get a lot of insight. You will have a heck of a time reading stories. If you're a millennial, I don't know, you're going to have to use your creativity a little bit because it's going to be about people, events, and times you never frigging heard of. But still, all of the lessons are there. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you got use out of this. And I'll see you tomorrow, probably on schedule with the regular time that I do these. Have a great day.